Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today I would like to talk about the permissive and the perfect will of God. Perfect will of God is best for us because it is God's way for us. Permissive will is that which God may allow, but it's not the best for us. I will share a story so that you could understand this better. One day I went for an appointment, and after the appointment, it was already late and I was very hungry. So I decided to get chips from a chips shop. And then I heard in my spirit, do not get the chips. And I said, why? But I'm very hungry. And that same spirit said, well, if you decide to get it, I will allow you. But just know that's my permissive will. Well, that was not the first time I heard about perfect and permissive will. So I understood what the spirit was saying. But I stubbornly went ahead and got that chips and fish because I was very hungry. I waited for some minutes for it to be ready, and then when I eventually got it, I didn't like it. It didn't taste nice at all. And it was when I was eating it, I realized I was warned earlier not to get the fish and chips, but I stubbornly disobeyed. And at that moment, I said, oh God, please forgive me. I'm so sorry. You warned me earlier. You know, one thing with God is when you have this relationship with the Holy Spirit, He's interested not just in very serious matters of your life, even in little things like what you eat, clothes you want to wear when you want to go out. He's interested in them. Now, if you look at the story I just told now, it wasn't God's perfect will for me to get it because He knew I wouldn't like the chips. But I disobeyed the instruction. He said he would allow me. Now, that was the permissive will because God, in his supremacy, could have blocked me from buying the chips. Like he's almighty, he can do anything. Maybe just when he wants to block off something, he can, but he allowed it. But the consequences of that permissive will was that it was not the best outcome I got. I ended up not eating the fish and the chips. I had to throw them away. So my time was wasted and my money was wasted as well. Now, another story in the Bible, a very good example of perfect and permissive will, is the story of Abraham. When God promised Abraham a child, Isaac was God's perfect will for Abraham. But when the wait became long, Abraham decided to listen to Sarah's advice without confirming from God if that advice was God's will. He went and slept with the maid, and that was how Ishmael was birthed. And Ishmael was the permissive will because God allowed it, even though it was not his perfect will. You know, um, God could have made the maid to have miscarriage, or even maybe the baby allowed the baby to die in infancy, but God allowed it. So that was his permissive will. And just when Abraham was beginning to settle for Ishmael, thinking this was the promise, God came back to remind him, hey, Abraham, your promise will come through Sarah. Sarah will bear a son. And Abraham had to come back to his senses and then waited again until Isaac was born. So Isaac was God's perfect will, Ishmael was God's permissive will. Now, the problem with permissive will is even though God permits it, permissive will always come with some troubles and disadvantages. If you study the story of Abraham, you'll see that Ishmael brought lots of trouble to that family. Unlike Isaac, the perfect will is always the best for us.